to get real. Welcome to another edition of TM3Impact. We are in the TM3 studios, and listen, this show is going to be epic. I already feel the vibes. Y'all feeling the vibes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm already feeling the vibes. I have two amazing people here, and we're just going to educate people. It's time to educate people about Botox and about taking care of the most important thing, which is your face.
Your face.
Right? Like, you got to take care of your face, please. And we need people, some people to really take care of their faces, right? So today, our sponsor, Luxury Home Magazine and SGA, Spanish Grove Academy, the #1 Spanish immersion pre-K in SA. So with that, it's time to get started. Shakira Cabrera, thank you so much for being on TM3. Erika Berry, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad you guys are here. So we're going to jump right in. Here's the deal. Shakira, we need to know your story. Tell us your story. How did you come to being in San Antonio and kind of going on this journey to getting to where you are today? Cliff Note version.
Okay, I got it. So I moved to San Antonio in 1999 to go to UTSA and get my bachelor's in biology. And then after that, I worked around and went to UT Health Science Center and got my PA degree and just kind of hung out until I met my now husband and then moved to Washington State. Okay. And then we came back.
And you came back to this beautiful city.
Love the city.
Yeah. Now, wait, so for everybody that understands, because people hear the term PA, help people understand what that means and why it's important for what we're going to talk about. I think it's important for what we're going to talk about later. So tell everybody what that means.
Absolutely. So PA is short for physician assistant. It falls into the category of mid-level practitioner. So there's doctor, and then right after a doctor or right under a doctor, I should say, is mid-level. So that's either a physician assistant or a nurse practitioner. And then under that is nurses, and then LVNs, and then MAs, and then techs. And so it was created by the military as a way to kind of have providers in very limited areas where there wasn't anybody to take care of these soldiers. And so that's how the PA profession came about.
Okay.
But we're utilized very like nurse practitioners in a lot of different fields. I mean, we can see patients, we can help with surgeries, we can
Actually,
write
I had
prescriptions.
no idea that it was a military thing.
Yeah.
I had no clue.
I didn't know that either.
I learned something new.
Yeah. I did not know that either.
So I love being a PA because you can switch around from field to field. And that's exactly what I've done in the last 15 years.
And that's true, because you've done some plastic surgery. I know you've also done, was it heart? Were you doing
trauma surgery?
Trauma surgery. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done emergency. Well, I do ER now too as well. And then I did, hospitalist and what else? Neurology. So I've done it all, but there's so much to learn that I didn't want to specialize in one way.
Well, I think it's important because when it comes to people's faces, right? We need people to know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's awesome. And I'm glad you're in San Antonio. I am really glad you're in San Antonio.
Me too.
So Erika, now tell us your story, AKA, I know we have your Instagram name. You go by the Botox Bunny.
Oh, yeah.
Bunny.
So we need to know, right? Like,
My mom was like, can you please name it anything other than Botox Bunny? Like, you sound like, like a playmate. And
Right.
she's like, you went to Hopkins. Like, can you name it something else? I'm like, no, it's the bunny. I want to be the bunny.
you want to be
Everybody
the bunny.
loves
It was
I
a joke.
love
And then
it.
it just kind of took off after that.
So go back. So
Yeah,
I want to
yeah.
know, kind of tell me your story to how you
Okay.
ended up to here, the
Yeah.
Botox Bunny.
Yeah. Well, I did undergrad in Miami, Florida, actually. I did nursing. And then I started in Detroit. I did trauma surgery, same thing. I did ICU. And I was like, what do I want to do? Where do I want to go? Then I went to Hopkins, which is in Baltimore, Johns Hopkins, and I became a nurse practitioner there.
Okay.
And then I went and worked in surgery and did kind of plastic surgery, urology surgery, all the scary stuff in San Francisco. This is like a fun fact that people, there's a lot of bikers in San Francisco. And so there's a lot of trauma from people, men. This is like probably too much for you guys, but people like were getting in crazy accidents with their,
Private parts.
Private
parts. And so a lot of plastic surgery and urology surgery. So that's what I did there.
Okay.
And then started injecting. And then I learned really the wrong way. I learned on YouTube. I learned online. I learned because I worked with surgeons that were amazing, but I had to teach myself like a lot of things. So that's why I think I'm passionate about education, because in the injectable world, in the plastic surgery world, some people aren't they don't like to really show a lot of their moves because they're like, especially in like smaller towns, they're like, I don't want to show you how I do my lips. I don't want to show you how I do my cheeks. So for me, I'm like, I don't care. Here, take my skills.
Let me show you.
Let me show you, because it's better to do it that way than to be unsafe.
Right.
And in DC, I'm sure every city, I'm sure San Antonio, same way, we see a lot of botched cases because people go to these master courses and are like, I'm a master injector. And then they try all these things and they're like, oh, wait, just kidding. I don't know what I'm doing. So
that's scary.
I think what Shakira is doing is awesome, is reaching out. I was lazy and I was like, I don't want to do this. But then the more you get into it, you're like, I really need to be trained the right way. And
right. So I'm imagining Hopkins, you finally, you're doing all of this and surgery going all over.
Yeah.
And then you're like, Mom, Dad, I'm gonna really focus on Botox.
Yeah.
Injectables.
Yeah.
And I would imagine they were like, really?
Yeah.
Is that what they said?
Yeah. My dad, who works in finance, he's like, why would you do this? Like, I don't get the allure of doing this. And I'm like, honestly, it feels good to make people feel good and feel happy. And then the hours are really good if you have boundaries. I work like 80 hours a week, so I'm bad, but for the most part, you can work good hours, like reasonable hours. And it's a very lucrative field, which is awesome, but that's what draws in a lot of the crazies as well. So you have to be very smart with who you see.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So now two worlds collide. We have the Botox Bunny and we have Shakira. What's your Instagram handle?
Lips Don't Lie, Shakira.
Oh, that's good. I didn't realize that was your Instagram. So say that again. Lips Don't Lie, Shakira.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. So two worlds come together. Where did y'all meet? And tell me about that.
Well, we met, I was doing a training in Dallas, and it was an advanced training. So we're doing like cannula work and tear trough filler, jawline filler, and Shakira was there and she took my class. And that was it. And then one of our good friends, Megan, kind of, introduced us a little bit more. And then Shakira was like, hey, can you come down and do a private training? And I was like, sure, no problem. I come down and then we like had a blast, had some margaritas. We stayed at
La Cantera.
This beautiful resort. And I'm like, San Antonio is the bomb. Like, yes, what am I missing out on?
Seriously. Yeah.
People make eye contact with you. They say hello. I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah. Yeah. So, so what you're saying in DC, eye contact is like,
I grew up in the Midwest. So for me, I talk to everyone. I'm very, outgoing, extrovert. Right. In DC, people are like, please don't talk to me, ma'am. We're on a metro. Like, you're a stranger at 7:00 in the morning. Like, please focus. But just, it's nice to be friendly. And
yeah. It's Texas.
Everything is better in Texas.
Yeah.
She loves Texas.
Yeah. Food's better. The guacamole's better.
Oh, listen, if you're eating guacamole in DC, you should think about your life choices.
We do good Vietnamese and we do good like Korean food.
Okay.
But Mexican, oh no.
Yeah. No. You need to think about your life choices at that point. Now, so tell me about this class. Like you go to this class, you meet her, or you automatically thinking, I got to bring her to San Antonio?
Well, so I knew once I had decided like, hey, I really want to start injecting and get out of the operating room. I was like, I need to just take some classes. And so I found the company that she works for, Metaesthetics, and took their basics course back in August of last year, and then took the advanced course in October, of last year. And she is just, not only is she like amazing, genuine person and humble, but as an instructor, like she was just so down to earth and she listened to everybody. She was very, she was fun. You could be like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing and I'm shaking. And she'd be like, you're doing great. And I'm like, I need this woman in my life forever. Aww. And so when I wanted to do something more one-on-one, cause classes are great and you should take classes, but there's nothing to replace somebody like there with you all the time, watching every single thing that you're doing. And I was like, this is the lady. This is the woman that I want to train me and I want to be like her. And I've been a PA for 15 years, but that doesn't matter when you start doing something from the ground up. Like I want to learn from the best. And then you just become a student all over again. Yeah. And I wanted to be a student. I wanted to be a little Botox Bunny student. So
a little baby bunny.
But no, she's, you can have, and I've now, after going to a lot of trainings, there's instructors out there that are very like, this is how it must be, blah, 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 like very strict and that just makes people, when you're already insecure and you're new to this and you're not sure if you're doing it right, it makes you have anxiety, and you're about to stick a needle in somebody's face. That's not the person you want right over your shoulder. So Eric is like completely the opposite to that. And so, and then we just became friends. Like literally I picked her up from the airport. We went and had margaritas and we were like, we're just going to be, you're stuck with me now.
Did you take her to Chewy's the first time?
No, we just had, dinner at the restaurant there
La
at La
Cantera?
Cantera.
Okay. All right. Got it. I was going to say, if you got her that jalapeno margarita, it's
She did. That's what she had today.
Spicy. I'm a spicy girl. Like I like it spicy.
That's what she had today.
Yeah. It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
Oh my God, forget
Okay, so I think it's really interesting because I want to show a couple of things on here. This first thing, because we're talking about Botox, right?
Chloe.
And I think we got to just touch on this. This is a picture of Chloe when she was 24 and when she's 34. But help people understand that this is not just Botox. There's a lot going on here. So talk about it.
Yeah. I love posting celebrity before and afters because I love to show people like, look, this is what they look like, and look through surgery, fillers, Botox, skincare, chemical peels, like everything. This is what they transformed into. And people are like, oh crap. Like I didn't know that was possible.
Yeah.
And I love to show that there's a starting point, and like where you're starting, you can get there, but it takes time and money. And obviously Kardashians are like the poster children for this because and so showing people that I think is amazing. I think it does send a bad message sometimes because people are like, oh, they did it. I can do it. And they bring me that. And then they're upset. Like, oh, I didn't have that amazing chart. So it's a lot of education. Like, hey, this is because they're spending millions of dollars on plastic surgery, and it's not just.
So you think this would cost over 10 years? What do you think the cost is? Honestly,
I'm going to say like $400,000.
Okay. So not $1 million, but in the 400s.
Right.
Yeah. I would say, through surgery, like multiple liposuction. And this is me. And the one thing is like, I don't know what they had.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they've had, but guessing liposuction, rhinoplasties, the bullhorn lip lift, fillers, Botox.
Got it.
But they look, in my opinion, I think they look amazing.
Yeah, she looks amazing.
Some people are like, oh no, it's too much, but I think they look amazing.
Yeah. Okay. So when we think about this for you, Shakira, when you see this and obviously you have some patients that are going to come and go, well, I want to look like this. Mm-hmm. Can you make me look like this? Like, how do you respond to that to help them go through the process? Because this is a 10-year transformation, right? So how do you help them?
I think, patients are smart and they respect you just being honest and telling them like, this is a great goal, but this is what it's going to take you to get to this. And that's not something that I can do today, but it's going to take surgery. Like what Erica said, it's going to take all these things to get you here. And the more you educate, not only do they respect you more, but they appreciate you more and they'll come back to you again because you're being honest. You're not going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to stick 4 syringes in your face and you're going to look like that. And then I'm going to collect X amount of dollars. Cause that's not ethical or nice to do to somebody. I
say it's the come to Jesus talk.
Yeah.
So I sit them down, like, we're going to have a come to Jesus talk.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. What you want is only surgery. Fillers is not going to do it. And I think they love that. Yeah. They're like, oh, you don't want to charge me $2,000 today? Like, why don't you want my money? I'm like, don't save your money.
Yeah.
Or if they don't like lip fillers, especially when people want, I'm like, you don't need lip fillers. Your lips are perfect.
Yeah.
Like, save your money, go home, spend it on something else.
Which I think is a good point because I think there's a lot of good injectors out there that do that, and that's not sometimes what is what the public can think about and with this industry. Like, oh, they're just in it to make money. No, we want to make patients happy. We want you to feel good when you walk out of the clinic.
Like if I have 20 patients in a day, I'm probably only injecting 15 of those 20 because they have a cold sore, they have surgery coming up, they have their daughter's wedding,
they have dentist appointments,
they have something else or they have already perfect lips and cheeks. Like I say no to probably, I don't know, at least 20% of my patients.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good, but because there's almost like, in any profession, you kind of have this idea that you have to do what's best for the client.
Yeah.
Right. You've got to make sure that you're doing what's best, and I would imagine, obviously, that can be hard. That come to Jesus talk can be really difficult. Have you ever had somebody fight you on your come to Jesus?
All the time. All my patients.
All the time.
All my patients.
Why don't you want to inject my lips?
Yeah. All my New York
you?
patients that fly in and all my LA patients that come in, they're like, no, I just got on a plane and flew here for you to inject me. Like you're doing. And I'm like, And people ask me like, why did the Real Housewives end up looking crazy? I'm like, because their surgeon or injector did not say no to them. Because like when I was a newer injector, I was scared. I didn't want to hurt people. So I would inject that extra syringe and they would look bad. So now I know like they're going to look bad. They're going to be angry. So now I just say no. So the reason why people look bad with plastic surgery is because their injector or surgeons did not say no.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So let's break down, because there's been a couple of things that have said. One is injectables.
Yes.
Right. And then of course I only think of Botox, which is that classified as an injectable?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so let's break this down. We have another slide here Gabe will put up on the screen. I don't know if this is the best way, but is this the best way to kind of talk through that? Let's talk through that.
Well, yeah, and this one and then the next one. So this one is great for injectors because it shows where the vessels are. So where your veins, your arteries are, because this would be for filler. So filler is not, so Botox, I'll start with that. Botox is a neurotoxin.
Okay.
It stops the muscle movement. So that's great to prevent wrinkles. But if you already have a wrinkle, Botox is not going to help.
It doesn't do anything.
Well,
okay, you got to say that again for people to understand. I think that's really important. Say that again.
If you have a deep set wrinkle,
that's the key. Yeah.
Like these are here, all up in here,
right?
Then Botox will only help you to a certain extent. It's not going to get rid of it. That's why Botox is great for people age, and people are going to freak out.
Yeah.
21
what?
Yes.
to 41.
What?
It prevents wrinkles.
You serious?
Yes.
But
I've never heard that.
Yes.
usually people that are coming to me, they're like, I look tired. I need to be refreshed. And Botox helps, but more it's adding filler back in. So aging is not wrinkles.
Okay.
Babies have wrinkles.
Okay.
Aging is volume loss. Aging is where everything kind of sags down. You get this fold here around your mouth. You get the smile lines. You get the hollowness under your eyes. Botox does nothing for that.
Interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting. So again, getting back to this, so you say vessels, is that like when you're looking at this is where, do you want to avoid like these veins?
Exactly. That's where, when you have these like Jack in a Box places and they're just injecting, they don't know where the vessels are. That's when you have something called an occlusion, which is where you get the filler in the vessel.
Eee.
Which is really bad.
Which is really bad. But it happens, and it happens to even good injectors, but that's why you can't it's not going in to get your nails done or your eyebrows waxed. Like Botox and filler is a major procedure. You have to be really careful.
Right. So then I guess that is there any other terminology, injectables, Botox, filler? Is there any other terminology that has been maybe not understood that people need to know?
I think I get people coming in saying, I want my Juvederm.
Yes.
And Juvederm is just a brand, a filler. And I'm like, okay, great. Acknowledge that, but you don't need Juvederm. You need Radiesse, or you need Restylane, or you need it's just saying like, I need a Kleenex.
Okay, it's the Nike. It's the the brand.
Yes.
Yeah.
So where did people get that is did they just brand it really well?
And they branded it very well.
Okay.
They did a very good job. Instagram, there's TV ads. Usually it's a friend. Like, oh yeah, my injector did Juvederm here and this is what you need. So they're coming in and they're like, yeah, my friend, they did Juvederm. Now I'm like, well, you're not getting it there. I'm going to actually do it up here. So educating is, I think,
okay. That's critical. All right. Look at the next slide. If you look over at this next slide, this was something that when I saw this on your Instagram, I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
Tell me about this.
Kim and
I was like, did somebody bite them? Like, what the heck is going on?
I love it.
Kim Kardashian and I went and we had facials done together.
That's so
Yeah, we're good
awesome.
friends. Yeah, Kim and I are dear friends. But this is something there, and I don't know if anyone watches Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but she actually went and had this done
On the show?
on the show.
Oh.
Very early on in the season, she had it done, and she was like crying and like, "Oh, it's so painful." It's not painful at all.
So, wait, I'm sorry. That looks like it hurts.
No.
They numb your face.
Okay, but-
yeah.
It doesn't hurt. I swear, it doesn't hurt. It looks insane. I know.
Yes.
But basically, they draw your blood. So they take your blood out of your vein.
Okay.
Okay. We spin it in a thing called a centrifuge.
You told me about this.
Yeah.
Yes.
And our blood's amazing, right? Our blood circulates around our bodies,
Yeah.
tells some cells to die, some cells live, digest, whatever they need to do. We extract the platelet-rich plasma, so all the good stuff, like the gold of our blood,
Growth factors and
then,
stuff. Yeah.
and then we take it and we microneedle our face, so we create
With
little, yeah. So we
And a
create-
microneedling pen basically is like a little device that has 8 tiny needles and causes like channels
Yes.
inside your skin where we go over it. So if you're thinking about it, we're like pushing and driving this healthy plasma to the under part of your skin, the second layer, to help it grow.
And the best thing about it is actually injecting the PRP.
Yes.
The best is not putting it on top. You actually want to inject it underneath. The good thing about microneedling is it causes a damage to your skin, and your brain's like, what the heck is going on? Sees that signal and then creates new skin and growth factors and blah, blah, blah.
Ah,
it's
interesting.
Great for little fine lines, great for prevention.
Yeah.
Great for, and
So okay. So like, does this just come out? Like, how new is this?
no, it's been out for, I would say, a good 7 years.
7
It's
years,
becoming
okay.
more and again, the Kardashians helped to make it popular
Yeah.
because they do it on their show, and then here it is.
And there you go. Now, have you done this yet?
yes.
And what did you think?
Loved it.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Did it hurt? Don't lie to me.
Well, we're doing yours next today.
Yeah.
Surprise! We brought our equipment.
Yes.
We'll
Oh boy.
we'll live stream it. You guys
Yes.
can watch.
It's going to be the Tomas show.
Yeah, I'm not
the
even.
Tomas vampire facelift.
You're gonna love it.
I don't even know what to say, man. That just scares. That just scares me. I just can't even imagine.
I tell
Scary.
people the
Yeah.
worst thing about it is just the poking for the blood, and
Yeah.
that's it. And
And
the
that's
rest
it.
of it just feels like a vibrating.
Yeah.
It's easy. People
Okay.
are shocked how it's not painful.
It's not that painful. Okay. All right. So this is another procedure that people can get done, right?
yeah. Absolutely.
So is there something else that we don't know about that's coming along? Like what's in the works that's out there that people need to know
Stem
about?
cells.
Oh, get out.
Yes.
Like fetal. I know everyone's gonna freak out all the
Holy.
Yeah.
fetal stem cells.
Okay.
And then instead of drawing, I don't want my blood. I want a 2-month-old baby, or not baby, but like
Stem cells of the baby.
placenta. Yeah, placental stem cells on my
Whoa.
face. People use when they circumcise.
Yes.
They use that, kind of thing.
Yes.
So there, we actually a very common topical serum we use, TNS, Skin
Yeah.
Medica, has stem cells from foreskins.
Oh my gosh. And this is all cutting edge. This sounds cutting edge.
Cutting edge is not FDA approved, meaning
Yeah.
we don't know the long-term consequences.
Okay, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's
Okay.
something to think about before you just dive in.
Yeah.
Do your research. Ask your injector what, has it been studied? Is there research on it?
I just had a joke in my head and I'm like, I just cannot say that on
You should
the
totally
TM3
say
podcast.
You can tell us that.
Yeah.
I could only imagine the jokes that would pop up on the YouTube feed with that. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Okay. Next slide, Gabe. What do we got next? Let's talk about this because I know that when I showed you this, you were like, okay, we gotta talk about this idea. So touch on this, please.
Well, I love now because Instagram's free and it's education for patients, and people no longer can have the excuse, well, I didn't know. I'm like, BS.
Yeah.
You can Google what's the average cost, average treatment, average whatever. So this is good for patients when they come and they're like, oh, I thought I was just going to spend $200.
Yeah.
No, actually, if you want your forehead lines done, your clavellar lines done, your brow lift, your crow's feet, you can do the math and kind of average. So I love to give my patients here's all the tools you need.
Yeah.
So when you come in, what, how much you're going to spend.
So if I'm reading this correctly,
Yeah.
right? So if I want to get my crow's feet all touched up,
Yeah.
it could be between 8 to 24 units
On each side.
on each.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
I can't just do
Yes.
one.
No.
You can.
And you'd be surprised. People ask for that. Yeah.
No way.
Yes.
I just want to hook up this side
Yeah.
first.
You want the pirate look. We
Yeah.
can do the pirate look. We can do that.
Okay, so I'm doing the math in my head and I'm going, okay, but how much do you charge per unit? I would imagine it's like where we have the Nike Botox. I've got the Adidas Botox, right? And if I'm being ignorant, please help me. I've got, the Mitsubishi, right? Or the Hyundai, right?
Well, the truth is it's a medication.
Okay.
And it costs a lot of stinking money.
Okay.
One bottle of Botox to buy it, just for Shakira to buy it, just to have and not even sell it, is $600.
$600 for one vial.
Unit.
And one bottle is only 100 units.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So
okay.
if you're going to a place and they're charging you $8 a unit, you have to really think
Ooh, I can do math. That's not good math.
Yeah, and you have to think maybe
that's too cheap.
Maybe they're getting it from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because they can get
not
it
from the manufacturer.
So you usually average, we charge $16 a unit.
Okay.
Every place is different, but I would say the average is between $12 to $20 a unit.
Okay.
New York, $32 a unit.
Oh wow.
DC,
what about LA?
I have no idea because LA is so spread out.
Okay.
I would say between 18 to 20.
Okay.
So
interesting.
average dose is about 50 units, 45 to 50. So average cost is about 800. Yeah.
So wait. So average dose, because you got to multiply it.
Because we don't just do one area, we have to do in between the eyes, forehead, and around the eyes, because muscles work in conjunction with each other.
Yeah.
So if I came in and I said, okay, I want to get this is filler probably. This is not just, this is Botox, right?
Botox and your vampire.
Microneedling.
Yeah, your vampire facial.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then typically it's not like I'm going to do this one idea. It's going to be a multiple strategic approach.
Modalities. We say the multiple
Okay.
modalities.
There you go. So explain that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can never just do, if you're looking for, I want to look like Kim Kardashian. I'm like,
Right.
absolutely. And then okay, so Kim does X, Y, and Z. So you can't just do Botox. It's like good skincare. Plus Botox, plus filler, plus microneedling. And Botox only lasts for 3 months. So then now I'm going to be seeing your butt back.
What?
3 to 4 months. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And some people faster because I metabolize it in 10 weeks. Yeah.
Interesting. So 3 months, it's out of the system. It basically, it comes out of the system.
Exactly.
Okay. Interesting. I did not know that. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So now I'm looking at all of this and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, so this is not going away, right? Like this is something it's been here. How long have people been doing Botox? Like what's the history of Botox?
Well, it was actually studied and used on children, for children that had they were cross-eyed. Basically, you're cross-eyed because your muscles are not working correctly in your eyes. So they use it. So we use it usually first in children. That's how it was discovered.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then they were using it in bladders and prostates and stroke victims.
For migraines.
They use it in people with spasticity issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been used for probably 40 years.
Okay.
Off cosmetic.
Okay.
And now cosmetic has been popular early 2000s and now obviously becoming very, very popular.
Yeah. That's really interesting.
Isn't that cool? So when people are scared, I'm like, to be honest, the dose we use, 50 units, is a drop in the bucket. For my bodybuilders, for spasticity, for migraines, I use 300 units sometimes.
But how would it help with a migraine? I'm curious.
So migraines are usually caused by muscle tension pulling on the bone.
Oh.
So that stops it. For me, I knock on wood, no migraines ever because Botox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. So that so Botox, so just so I understand, again, if I'm ignorant, let me know, right? So when you inject it, it literally is paralyzing the muscle?
Relaxing it is what we like to say.
Oh, okay.
We're paralyzing you.
Okay. No, seriously. Okay. So it's relaxing it, but really it's causing it not to move. It's basically that muscle becomes almost to the point where is it that it can't move?
It's not firing, yeah.
Oh, it doesn't fire.
What's blocking? It's blocking that your neurotransmitter.
The
from your
neurotoxin.
brain.
That's why they call it a neurotoxin.
It's the most dangerous neurotoxin on the planet.
It's the most dangerous.
In high doses.
And
right.
So when we inject it, it's just going localized.
Right in the
it's
muscle,
not moving. It's not. We're not putting it in your digestive tract. We're not putting it
in your bloodstream.
It's really just going right in that muscle. That's why they're knocking wood. I don't think there's been any deadly cases.
Yeah. So it's okay. Again, learning. So Botox literally goes right into the muscle.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's it. And so now, but injectables like filler, that's different.
Yes.
Exactly.
So explain that.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
So, fillers there's different 3 manufacturing companies, actually now maybe 4 with Revenues, that have fillers, and basically they're created from hyaluronic acid, which your body naturally makes hyaluronic acid.
Okay.
But there's plenty of uses. When you think of a filler, is to replace volume, right? Okay. That the face has lost over time from aging. So you can use it in under the eyes. You can use it in your cheeks to give you a little bit more of a lift and help you with some hollowness. You can use it in your lips to give you nice, plump, juicy lips. Okay. So that's the difference. Is you're not paralyzing or relaxing, I'm going to say. Anything with fillers, you're actually just adding volume.
And volume meaning it causes the lips to look a little bigger, or it fills a void.
You're replacing.
Is it like filling? It's like a pothole filler,
right?
Or it helps to lift.
Yeah.
As we get older, everything comes down, so we're just putting our fat pads and kind of just lifting it,
and it'll push it up.
Exactly.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay, well, let's go to the next slide. This next idea here is training. And again, y'all met because of training, which I think is really cool. And so now that you're in this space and you're learning, you were just, tell me about this, Shakira, as you were out training in Las Vegas.
Yeah. So that's at the aesthetic show in Las Vegas. It's a really big show for the aesthetic industry. I got to listen to, Chino Bay. He's a dermatologist.
Is this him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We need to tag him. Is he big?
Yeah, he's big.
Okay.
He's in Miami.
Okay.
And so he is brilliant. He's a dermatologist, and he gave a lecture on Sculptra, which is an injectable. It's not quite a filler.
It's kind of like a filler. Think about it, like it's kind of like a filler.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, but he's like the biggest Sculptra injector, I think, in the US. And so, it was great. It was fun. You get to meet these amazing, injectors and teachers in the industry that you only hear about through Instagram and through other people,
right.
And get to and he's just like Erika, like he gave in the whole presentation his technique. He's like, this is how I inject. I want you to be safe, rather than not be safe. So it's fun. I love going to these conferences. We're gonna go to Miami in a couple of weeks, to the Aesthetic Extender. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay, so who's gonna be able to speak in there? Like
Chino,
you already know?
Yeah.
He'll be there.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
A bunch of other. I don't even know who's gonna be speaking. I'm there for the food and drink.
And the learning.
And my 40th. My
40th. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so I number one, I want to say thank you because I love having things on the show that help educate and help people understand that there's more to whatever it is that you're hearing. There's more to the story, right? I used to love that show, and now you know the rest of the story.
Right.
If you remember that,
yeah.
I love hearing that other side of the story from people who have literally been studying this. How long have you been doing this?
Oh my God, forever.
Right?
For as long as I can remember.
Okay, since middle school. So you've been knocking it out since middle school.
Yeah, I've been doing Botox since the age of 8.
And 8.
Yeah. I started
I love it.
Prevention.
Yeah.
I think a huge thing.
You're just helping out all the little kids in the neighborhood. I love it. I love it. Hooking them up. I love it. Shaq, how long have you kind of been in this world kind of learning? It's been a while because I remember you talking about this years ago.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a year in August. Yeah. But I mean, I've been a PA for longer than that. I did plastic surgery for 4 years before that. But in the in the injectables industry, a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. But
I have lots to learn.
But everything that I'm hearing, this girl's done more training than, you know what I'm saying? Like seriously, you've done more training than probably half the people out there. You add it all up and you've probably done more training than them. You know what I mean? No, I think it's incredible.
And she cares. I think that's huge. So she gives a crap. So she cares. She really cares about what people want and happiness and not, taking someone's money, which is huge.
Right. Yeah. Cause again, I could see this being an industry because you are playing on, this is really an emotional thing when you're talking about people's faces, right? So I could see that there could be some manipulation in this industry. There could be some, people taking advantage of other people in this industry, right? Yeah. So that's good. Okay. So, I like to end the show with just one question. And this is from a book, by Tim Ferriss. Okay. Tools of Titans, right? Actually, no, it's Tribe of Mentors, excuse me. And he asked these 11 questions to all these people around the world, and then they sent their answers. And I thought, you know what? This would be a really good question because both of you are in this industry. I want to know, what is a bad recommendation that you've heard that a patient has told you from another injector? Maybe, like like bad advice that they've gotten, and now you've got to stand in front of them and have that come to Jesus talk.
Yeah. I think the worst, I'm perfectionist when it comes to everything, but mostly lips. The worst is when a doctor or a nurse practitioner or a PA tells their patient, oh, just keep filling them, keep adding more volume if you want bigger lips, or if you want an upturned lip, keep just try and add more filler. And I'm like, actually, no. And I believe in surgery is number one. Surgery is the king.
Yes.
And then if you don't need surgery, or you can't afford surgery, or you're against surgery, then I can help you.
Okay.
So usually when someone has, we call it a filter, we call it an elongated lip, a lip that covers their teeth, either rhinoplasty, natural aging, just natural anatomy. If you keep adding filler, it's going to make it worse. So that's the biggest thing. When someone's like, oh no, my doctor just said to keep adding more for more volume, and now my filler's up to my mustache, I have to say, no, you need surgery. And it's hard to say that to a patient.
Right.
I definitely have to, and I usually try to make a joke, make them feel good, compliment something else, and then say, hey, I would want someone to be honest with me.
Yeah.
I try to pretend every patient's my mom.
Yeah.
Or myself. And then that kind of makes it better.
Which makes sense with your success, right? Because of your success and what you've been able to do, the teaching that you've been able to do.
Yeah.
I mean, because you have the patients, their needs first, not your wallet, that goes a long way.
Oh yeah.
That goes a long way. So for you, worst advice that you had, you're talking to a patient and you're like, he said what?
Yeah. So actually I learned this from Erika the last time she came. So I had a patient come, actually a couple of them come to requesting filler under their eyes, but these patients really weren't the best candidate for that because they had, fat pads, like the little bulges that you see. You don't have them, and neither does she or me. But Erika had taught me, like, when patients have that, they don't need filler because it'll make it look worse. They actually need surgery. But a lot of other injectors will just keep pushing filler under their eye, and it actually makes it look worse. Yeah. But not a lot of patients want to hear, like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to put filler there. You need to go see the plastic surgeon.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things. I've had a couple actually lately in the last month. They're like, inject here because my other person told me that's what I needed. And I said, no. And then I had them text me back and say, why did you say that I shouldn't have it? And I could only assuom that they were sitting with somebody else.
That person again.
Sitting with somebody else. And I was like, this is what I recommend. But yeah, those have been the latest cases.
And it's not even a surgery to get that.
Yeah, it's like an
removed.
Outpatient procedure.
It's like a 10-minute procedure, and it's costs less than getting filler done multiple times. And
no way.
It is. Yeah, I don't understand. I think people, it's just like this stigma of like surgery.
Yeah.
So I usually try to not say the word surgery. I try to say procedure.
That makes sense. Yeah. I could see people being like a little, like I don't want to go into surgery. You know what I mean? I could see that. I could totally see that. And so that's it. Listen, this was fantastic. Now tonight, you guys have an event tonight. Why don't you talk a little bit about that? Because people can't come to the event, that you're going to be having, right? Yeah. This party. Is it a can I say Botox party? Yeah. Is that what it is?
Yeah, we're going to have Botox and we're going to have Jeuveau, which is one of the other neurotoxins in the market.
Okay.
But yeah, it's going to be a fun girls' night, actually. Erika's going to be there. And
they're fun. I think it's good to, especially a newer patient, when they're freaked out and they're like, I don't want to go. I'm like, do you a Botox party with a reputable, good injector?
Yes.
And then
and we have one here in San Antonio.
And
yes.
Shakira's going to kill it. And I think it's good to like sign your consents, go through the education, have a sip of wine.
Yeah.
Relax, and then it's more, and especially when your best friend's there holding your hand. So she's gonna kill it. She's gonna have a great time.
But I'm so glad you invited us because I think this is still such a new industry where people can have a stigma about it, and it really does affect people's self-confidence.
Yeah,
it really does. And so for us, we're not out there to make money. We really just want to make people feel better about themselves.
Right. And so if somebody wanted to throw a party with you, Shakira, how could they do that? What would be the best way for them to reach out to you to make that happen? Do you have a website that they could go to?
Yeah, so they could go to www.thejewelsco.com and then fill out the contact form, or through Instagram, Lips Don't Lie.
So lips don't lie.
Lips don't lie, Shakira.
Shakira, there you go. They can DM you. That's
They can DM
fantastic.
me. Yes.
Well, listen, I want to thank you guys so much for taking
Thank you
time.
for
I know you'll
having
have a
us.
busy schedule. You got to get ready for your party tonight. I'm excited that you came to San Antonio
She's
second
amazing.
time. I have a feeling she's going to keep coming back.
Oh, she's coming
I love
again
it here.
in
Yeah.
October.
I mean,
Yeah.
that freaking sauce. What was that? That jalapeno
Oh.
cream sauce. Like, how
Yeah.
can you not come back for that?
Yeah. Shout out to Chewy's.
Yes,
Jalapeno,
Chewy's.
creamy jalapeno. If you don't know, ask somebody.
Yes.
We're gonna be
Yeah.
sponsored by Chewy's for our next Botox.
I
party.
think so.
I think they need to sponsor us.
Yeah.
They do.
Did you bring the cheese dip for the party?
You know what? Complete epic fail.
Whoa.
Epic fail. We should have
okay.
thought about that.
Yeah. You know what you could do though? It's called Favor. Just call them
I
up.
need to do that. I have
Yeah.
yet to sign
What
up
is
with
this?
favors.
Favor, just like Uber Eats,
Oh,
Favor,
really?
all of those. Like literally just order a burrito and they'll bring you a bucket of it. You're
That's
good.
awesome.
Yeah.
That makes it way too easy. That's
It's
dangerous.
yes, it's pretty easy now. Yeah, pretty much everything is Uber.
I'm gonna have to do that.
So thank you again for being here. Again, Botox Bunny at the Botox Bunny or just Botox Bunny?
At Botox Bunny.
At Botox Bunny and
At Lips Don't Lie, Shakira.
at Lips Don't Lie Shakira. And I'm at the Tomas Martinez. Thanks again for being on TM3
Thank you.
Impact. You guys have an amazing night.
Thank you, Tomas.
Thank you.